Warning: the following stunts were performed by professionals. Do not try this at home.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. As once again, I'm not entirely sure when you'll be watching this, but I hope that so far you have been having a good day, and if you've not, we'll try and fix that. To those of you who don't yet know me, my name is Matthew Kerr, but up here I go by The Gentleman. And today we're going to be doing a little bit of juggling, and I'm going to be talking you through a little bit about how it is that I came to be able to do some of the more dangerous tricks that I can do. So first of all, when I was learning to juggle, I started out nice and simply with just one ball. And what I was doing back then, it wasn't very interesting. I could go round the back, under one leg, under the other leg, and then into the hat. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Matthew, that's not very impressive. We're looking for something exciting today, so don't worry. Twice as interesting and twice as dangerous today. We have two balls. Now what we're going to do here is start off nice and simple with one ball in each hand, just like this. We can do them going over the top one way, over the other way, or my personal favourite, going forward and backwards. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey Matthew, you said interesting, but that wasn't it. So okay, we'll get really going. Things start to hit the ground when I learned to juggle free balls. So the first trick I learned to do when I was juggling free balls, it took me a few hours. It was quite hard, and I called it juggling. Thank you very much. The second trick, a little more complex. I'd go once again under one leg, under the other leg, and if I was even feeling fancy, I could just about manage round the back. And once we got that stuff, we started to get a little bit fancy. Things very quickly fell a little bit out of control, and my personal favourite with the free balls is this one here. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey Matthew, free balls is fine, but what about four? Four balls, almost an impossibility. I don't even know if I could do it today, but for you, I'll give it my best go. Four balls looks a little something like this. A trick so hard, sometimes I can't even get it started. Here we go. Hup. If you are clapping at home, clap quickly, because I don't know how long this one's going to last. Here we go. And the big finish. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, okay Matthew, balls are fine, but what about these things here? So, after mastering the juggling balls, we move along here to the juggling clubs. Now clubs, unlike balls, are slightly different. There's a specific way that they have to move through the air. They have to rotate approximately once in order for me to catch the handle. Obviously, when using clubs, nothing too dangerous on the other side. Might get a bug on the head, might get taken out by this helicopter. Yeah.
A few moments later.
And of course, onto the clubs. Now, clubs are slightly different compared to balls. Each one has to rotate once, theoretically, in order that I catch the handle. Now, when I'm using these plastic clubs, that's not such a big deal. Worst case scenario, catch the wrong end or possibly a little bonk on the head. But they are a training tool for some of the more dangerous props that we're going to get onto in a minute. So, juggling them, you can see that they move through the air in quite a nice pattern. If I was to throw one high, we can make it spin twice to keep it in sync with the rest of them. There's a few different tricks that we can do. We could go under one leg, much like the balls, having to watch them a little bit more carefully. And at the moment, I have been trying a little bit to get the handle and sort of around the back. And I think I will even spin around and let you see that one again. Here we go, and up. A little bit off. Nonsense. So, whilst I'm thinking this, I'm thinking at the moment, it might be nice to show you a trick down by the river. And here we have perhaps one of my favourite tricks on location. The image of a beautiful salmon jumping through the air. I think, yeah, I can hear one coming just now. Oh, and there it is. But wait, there's more. It's not just one salmon. It's actually an entire family of salmon jumping up the river. There we go. How nice. And I don't even have wet feet. Okay. Now following that, we'll do just a few last tricks with the clubs. We can obviously do some columns, one in the middle and two up the side. Oh, and finally, a little bit of club juggling martial arts. Now, obviously when I'm walking about in my day-to-day, I'm often worried about facing violence on the streets. So I learned to defend myself at quite a young age. I used to take a club and I'd go like this, Hwaya! Or perhaps even cha, cha, cha. And luckily, I've never been bothered again. So let's move on to something a little bit more interesting. And the next bit I'm going to be using these. Now obviously, a lot of the things which I juggle are designed to be juggled. They're things that I've had a lot of experience of using. So to keep things interesting, I thought I'd take a few bottles of alcohol. So what we have here is we have an empty bottle of wine, a sort of generic beer bottle, and then some blood orange vodka. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have any of these anytime recently, and maybe that's for the best. I won't have any hope of juggling. Now, what I'll show you is that each of them turns slightly differently in the air, some fast, some slow. And if I want to have any hope of being able to juggle them for a long time, I'm going to have to try and catch the stem of the bottle as a handle. So here we go, a little bit of what is often referred to as gentlemen juggling items of different shape, size or weight. So here we go, watch this. And of course, they are made of actual glass. Here we go. Up. Now as you can see, we've started going here. But what's even harder than just the basic patterns are trying to get a few tricks on the go. So we'll try and put this green bottle under a leg, up, and then go for the big finish with the same one. So there we go, a little bit of juggling for you not to try at home, especially not once you've made it through the bottles. And a jump cut, and here we are. Now, many of you will have seen me juggle things like this before, and one of the first questions that I get asked is, Matthew, are the knives real? Are the knives sharp? Well, first of all, to discover the question of sharpness, I have here one standard industry carat, and all we're going to do is just go like this. So hopefully that should show you that they are sharp. I have 1, 2, 3 juggling sabers. Now before we begin, I feel like it's important that I talk to you a little bit about the safety regarding knives. Now first of all, it's very important to me that none of you try anything like this at home. Go to your granny's, your granny always lets you get away with more stuff. Now, obviously knives are dangerous. I could throw one knife under one leg, under the other leg, and round the back. Now of course, when handling anything dangerous, there is an element of risk. I'm a trained professional with these, but I don't want you guys to be worrying at all. Should you see an optical illusion of, say, a knife traveling towards you, something like this, do not be alarmed, because I'm here in the past and you're presently watching, so don't worry at all. So to start off with, we're going to start off with just a nice basic trick, a little bit of just the generic juggling, and then we'll try and make it more interesting. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wow. And if you're not, I really wish that you would. But watch closely. Obviously, with these knives at the moment, there is an element of danger, but it's not quite dangerous enough. Why? Because at the moment, I'm not trying to eat something at the same time. Now, here I have an apple. As you may see where this is going, I try and juggle these and eat the apple and not the knives. Here we go. Just to make it more interesting as well, the last thing that I did of this nature was for you guys at your last barbecue. So there is an element of, it's been about, 6, 7 months since I last tried this trick. So here we go, watch closely, watch that apple. So first of all, we just got to get into the pattern. We're going to start off nice and simple and just try and give it just a little bite. Hold on, I'll start off with a lick, just a lick. That's almost the same as a bite. Here we go, just a okay, we got a lick, and we're back up. Now we go for the actual bite. Here we go, on the count of 3. 1, a little bit more, 1, no, here we go, right, okay, 1, 2, that was about, nightmare. Okay, watch this apple nice and closely, here we go. Okay, now, for an added element of interest, the last, gig that I did this sort of dangerous thing at was in fact you guys' virtual barbecue last summer. So, if it makes it interesting, I might be a little out of practice, so it could be a little bit more dangerous. Whoa! But watch that apple, here we go, okay, we'll go in for that first bite. Okay, hold on. Maybe we'll start with a lick. We'll just start with a nice lick. Here we go. Watch that apple and okay, that's a lick. Surely that'll be enough for you? No? Okay, we'll go for an actual bite. Here we go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, a little bit more 2, and 3. There we go. Perfect. And as you can see, that is 1 bite. Now, as we've mentioned, there is an element of risk when juggling any of these props, particularly anything that is sharp. But don't worry, as you can see, we have taken all of the relevant precautions and have an entire crew on site should anything go wrong. And here we go. So what I have here is something slightly different. To start off with, I'd like to draw your attention to this rollabola. Now, a rollabola is literally a wooden plank on top of a plastic shoe. This obviously means it's very hard to actually balance on it. As well as that, I have these 3 props. 1 Amazonian arrowhead, this hatchet, and a meat cleaver. So what I'm going to try and do is juggle these props on this balance board. So let's get up first of all. Now, at this point, I do feel obligated to tell you that I had never actually successfully balanced on this board whilst juggling these props of different weights. So let's give it a go today. Here we have an unstable juggler on an unstable board. And I think we might just about get away with it. Watch that hatchet. And there we go. Another quick trick for you here today. Here we have an American dollar, and in this glass I have a 2p piece. So watch closely. The 2p piece obviously can't pass through the top of the glass. We're going to try and find a magical workaround for that. Here we go. Watch. 1, 2, 3. Hop! And just like that, we have the 2p piece inside the glass. Alright, this card trick is all about following this red ace. Okay, we're going to put down this 3, followed by the ace, and then the 2. But remember, all you have to keep track of is where that ace is. We're going to go 1, 2. So where's the ace? It could be in position A, B, or C. Have a little guess at home. If you guess position A, well done, you got it right. And if not, don't worry, because I'm being a little bit sneaky. This time, we'll try something slightly different. I'll pop that ace down first, followed by the 3, and then the 2. I'll do my little magical gesture with an abracadabra, and the question is, where's that ace? If you guessed on this side, unfortunately, not quite right, that's the 3. If you guessed the other side, no, not quite, still the 2, which of course leaves us with the ace. Yeah, there it is, the ace in the middle. Alright, watch again, here we go. Ace in the middle, we'll take 2 cards, slide 1 underneath, place 1 on top. So where is that ace now? And that's right, it's once again made its way to one of the sides. Alright, this time we'll put the ace down, and we'll take the 3 and the 2, swap them around, and put 1 in each of my hands. But remember, all you've got to follow is that ace. So, where's that ace? That's right, the ace is in my hand, so's the 2, and down on the table we have the 3. Okay, here we have the Jack of Diamonds cut into pieces. All we're going to do is take them, place them into my palm. We're going to go like this, 1, 2, and abracadabra, just like that. If we open it back up, we have the Jack of Diamonds back in one piece. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching along today. As we finish here above Seaton Park, we're doing a final bit of juggling. We have here a saw blade, a sickle, and an animal trap. And just to show you, the trap is loaded. So I'm just going to load this up and finish off. I just want to say a massive thank you again to Inspire for bringing me out today, and particularly to our fantastic cameraman Chris, who's standing just out of frame now. So here we go, final thing, we'll just wrap this up for the day. My name is Matthew Kerr. On stage I call myself the Gentleman. If you're interested, I have an Instagram called the Juggling Gent. Here we go, watch closely. Whoop. Thank you very much for watching this afternoon, or this evening, or this morning, as I said at the beginning. But let's watch closely and watch that sickle as we wrap things up today. We should throw it up nice and high, 2 spins and a clean catch, lest we have to call in those ambulances that we saw earlier. Here we go, on the count of 3. 1, 2, up. Thank you very much. and I hope you guys have a fantastic remainder of the day.